Oh.
There's always the moment, like, right before we're ready to go on, and I'm like, wait, I gotta use the restroom first.
I gotta take a piss. A pissa.
There's usually something. It's like, oh wait, hang on. Let me refill my water real quick. I'm Brad Jones, here with Brian Irving.
Hi, guys.
And welcome to the new set.
I know, this is, the first time.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
less sweaty than the car.
it's definitely a lot more roomy.
Yeah.
I will say. I don't feel like I'm doing this in the car, just like, I'm too tiny for this tiny little car. So it's very,
Do you remember the early days when there would be like 5 of us in the car reviewing something just crammed in there, talking about Battleship
like, really,
or something
no,
like that?
Just kind of really, no. I mean, it's just, that was...
And we were like hand-holding the camera too for like no reason whatsoever. It wasn't until the second or third year where it was like, oh right, we can put this on the dashboard. Why are we holding this?
That Transformers 3 review when we were all like cramped in the back seat.
Yeah.
Which you were already completely pissed about that movie anyway.
Yeah.
And being cramped in with 2 other not small individuals didn't help things at all. So it was
holding
like,
the camera out like that. Here's why I'm so angry at this movie. See, and this works out too. Just in case we're ever like, I don't know, let's not talk about the movies we have. I don't know, let's go ahead and just talk about 7 Doors of Death, I guess.
Nice.
But I haven't seen that movie. No, dude, you have. It's all in here. All right. Let's throw up subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. Also follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob as well. We got 3 movies up for you tonight. The new Godzilla movie, Godzilla King of the Monster, plus Rocketman with Taron Egerton as Elton John, and the one that I saw, you didn't see this one, the Octavia Spencer horror thriller Ma, we're going to be talking about as well. And check out our GoFundMe page as well, where we're finishing up a last little bit of post-production on our movie before we're looking at a summer release date for it. We're still gunning for a summer release date for the movie. We're just getting a last little bit to finish up some post-production work.
And, maybe some surprise individuals in the movie. You never know. Maybe.
We'll be making the announcement on that later on this week. We'll be making the announcement on who's playing my dad.
I gotta say, I just heard it and I was like, well, that's impressive and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
I'm super excited and also very intimidated. And speaking of Godzilla, since that's one of the movies we'll be reviewing tonight, check out the Cinema Snob episode we just did on the 1956 American edit of the original Godzilla movie, the Raymond Burr version. Plus, we have for next week's movie release, one of the movies coming out next weekend is Secret Life of Pets 2. Gino and I did an early access review of that's on the channel right now as well. Plus, I did a trailer reaction of Last Blood that's also posted. Okay, do I have anything else here? do I have anything else here in this long stretch of things to promote?
Good Lord.
I could cut to us here for a little bit, just a little bit before I cut to the Godzilla trailer. And donate to Super Chat as well. Donate to our Super Chat. And
somebody just said James Coburn is playing your dad. Yes, we just dug up James Coburn and stuffed him and threw him in the corner, and we're doing a weekend at Bernie's. I'm behind him going, hi Brad, how's it going? Long time no see.
Like we make a mistake and we accidentally dug up John Forsythe. Like, oh, he's still awesome, but we went to the wrong graveyard.
We thought we had the right one. Ah, it always happens this way. We always dig up the wrong dead guy.
So we always answer the Super Chat questions, read the Super Chat comments. We do that in between the reviews. So we'll have that coming up for you here in a little bit after the Godzilla review. So before we get to the review of Godzilla, let's go ahead and show a little clip from the trailer, and we'll be back with the review.
What we are witnessing here is the return of Titans.
Damn right.
You and I were actually at the same screening for this movie too last night.
Yep. Yeah, that was fun. That was
Yeah, we went to the IMAX release for this one. I like that even from looking at the trailer for this film, you can tell that they were doing a lot of things to make up for a lot of the criticisms of the 2014 one.
You know, and then now I'm reading the criticisms. Now they're like, "Oh, it's too much." It's like, when are you people going to be happy?
They
like,
want that happy medium.
First, it wasn't enough Godzilla.
Yeah.
Now it's too much monster. I'm like, it's Godzilla. What'd you expect? It's a monster. It's a big monster movie.
Here's how I put the first one, the 2000, because this is a
gosh.
follow-up to the 2014 one. It's also in the same monster universe that also included Kong Skull Island. Now, here's where I put, like, how I would describe 2014 Godzilla, where it's basically kind of just blue balls the movie, essentially. Like, it's got that great climax, like, you know, you're waiting for it, the climax happens, and it's intense. The pain is gone. You're glad that it, you know, it finally all just shot out and everything. But then you kind of remember later
all
on.
over the walls.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take a while to clean it up, but you're all right.
Yeah. Then you kind of remember later on where it's like, oh, wait, but having blue balls does suck. There is a lot of pain you got to go through before that climax happens. This one is a full-out orgy.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
You know, and I was one of those people who actually didn't mind the first Godzilla.
Uh-huh.
I get why people were annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I liked it overall as a movie, and it was one of those things where they were trying to set up this universe.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, those first movies, when they're setting something up, even for something like Godzilla, which everybody's seen one version of Godzilla or another.
Yeah.
But I think they wanted to try and do it right from the, you know, get a good foundation.
Uh-huh.
So they were setting up this character study, and the characterization was good. I liked all the characters, but as far as Godzilla, yeah, it was a tease in that movie. It was just like, all right, you get about 10 minutes of Godzilla.
The most interesting character in the movie, the most interesting human character in that movie also did die 20 minutes in.
I was just like, what? Wait, no?
I was prepared for it because I remembered going in and seeing the poster where it said all of these names and Bryan Cranston. I'm like, I'll bet you they're going to executive decision him. I'll bet you that's exactly what they're going to... I think that the 2014 one did have a great climax. There was a lot of issues I had with it before then, and a lot of the issues that I have are ones that are common for a lot of reviews of that movie. Whereas this one, it did answer a lot of that. You are getting a lot of what you're, especially fans of Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
You are getting, I mean, not just Godzilla in this movie. Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra. You're getting Rodan in this movie. You are getting all of these all-out fights between these characters in the film.
What I believe was to be a little tease of Gamera, something that looked like the Cloverfield monster, which I'm just like, that looks really, really similar. And I'm like, I really hope somebody got approval for that before they put it in the movie, because somebody's going to get sued otherwise.
There were some where I was like, I bet you that's... Because there are a lot of callbacks in this. There's callbacks to the fact that there's a... what do they call it? The Ocean Destroyer or something like that? That thing that they used in the original... Thank you, the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yeah.
There's that, even music cues and things like that. There are a lot of callbacks in this movie.
The sweet use of the Godzilla theme.
Yeah.
Oh, that was... That got me pumped. I will say that.
A lot of the main monsters I would certainly recognize, because I mean, I did watch a lot of Godzilla movies growing up. I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means, so there were maybe a couple of the random monsters towards the end, because they say there's like 17 of them in this movie. There were a few where I'm like, I'm not sure really what that one is, but it's probably something.
What do we see, like 7?
I think, yeah.
They don't, and really just the 4 main ones, and then it looked like Gamera to me. It really did. It looked like a giant turtle coming out of the ground, and then a giant mammoth.
Yeah.
And then the
spider.
And the spider, and then the Cloverfield looking monster. So there's really, I mean, it was very much teased that there were going to be all these titans, and then it was kind of like, I think it would have been cool just to have, like, not necessarily have them all, but like having flashes of like, oh, here's one and here's one. You know, tease something for a future movie where you can be like, oh, okay.
What if it's like Batman v Superman, where they just get all of them on a flash drive, and then there's like like Kyle Chandler like looking at them all like all on a computer or something like that. No, I like that they all really they work in this film in that they're all really kind of given their own personalities, sort of. Like, I mean, Godzilla, of course, well established, but also your big bad in this movie really is King Ghidorah, who is basically controlling what all the other monsters are doing, and humanity's only hope for survival is for Godzilla to knock out King Ghidorah.
Right.
But even when the other monsters show up, like, they had little quirks to them and little things they were doing with how they looked, how they would approach certain people, how certain music would play, like Mothra, for instance. I loved every time Mothra turned up in this movie. It wasn't like it was, oh, well, here is just another monster that shows up and it just happens to be Mothra. No, they do beautiful stuff with Mothra in the film. Like, I was very giddy seeing that character turn up.
And just it's hard to get emotion out of a giant moth.
Yeah.
But they really did. It was somehow they found a way to visually show distress or anger or contentment.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it was like a lot of it was visual clues. Like coloration, the wings, what color they were, but it was like real subtle little things. It was like, it's really easy to tune into what Mothra was, what emotional state Mothra was in throughout the entire movie. And that was surprisingly neat. I was like, I guess I really wasn't expecting to actually think about Mothra as an emotional creature, but really did.
There was little things they added to the effects too, like how you could see like the wings being a little singed, like as the movie goes along. Like, they were really good at that. There are some very beautiful shots in this film. I mean, the movie, obviously, like, these are spoiler-free reviews, so I mean, we're not going to say where everything leads necessarily, but I mean, it does end on a very epic shot. I mean, you can even tell in some of these images that I'm putting up that between the colors they use, between the rain and even a little bit of daylight in the background, whenever there's someone more villainous like King Ghidorah showing up, with between characters being on volcanoes and this fire in the background, everything, they do great with colors in here. You really feel how epic a lot of these shots are in the film.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And really, I mean, it's also a battle between Godzilla and all these other monsters, and between Godzilla and like a group of eco-terrorists.
Oh, Charles Dance, you never cease to amaze me in the weird roles that you take.
Okay, yeah, Charles Dance is in this movie like as Charles Dance. Like,
for a second there, like in some of the scenes, I thought he was wearing his prosthetic eye from Last Action Hero, and I'm like, no, that's just his regular eye. But the way the camera was looking, it looked like he had his prosthetic eye. I'm like, is it the same guy from Last Action Hero, or did he come back?
I hope, you know who I hope he is, because this would be a great monster for him to fight. I hope he's his character from The Golden Child.
That like winged.
Yeah, Satan Charles Dance, like taking his true form towards the end, and he's fighting Godzilla and everything. Yeah, Charles Dance was being villain Charles Dance in this film, and it works out that like these other people below him are, when you find out this group's motivation for what they're doing, it's basically like they're trying to Thanos the world, but using monsters in order to do it. And what I like about I've seen this kind of thing done in lesser movies where they're trying to make you root for what the character's doing, but I like what they do here, where Vera Farmiga, she is talking rational about this plan that she has to basically save humanity by wiping half of it out using these monsters. But even though she is talking calm like that, no, other characters are like, no, you're insane. This is crazy. What you're talking about here is truly insane. I like that about this movie.
Well, and I like that she's not completely insane. Like, she's not that true, like, straight up villain. Like, Charles Dance is just like,
he's a villain.
You want us to do this, we're going to do this. Oh, don't back up now. Don't back down now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through with this. Where she's much more flawed in her viewpoint. Like, she believes in this up to a point that she believes her daughter is okay with, the idea of it.
Yeah.
But then when her daughter starts to realize that, oh, this is not at all what you said it was going to be, and she starts to lose her faith in her mother, then you see Vera Farmiga start to crack under that kind of pressure, and then realize that ultimately her family is more important than her eco ideals and the plan. So
yeah, and so I wasn't. Even though I won't go so far as to say that there's necessarily any human character in this movie that I loved unnecessarily. I wasn't really annoyed by any of them. It wasn't like in 2014 where they killed off their most interesting character, and what I was left with were people that I just really didn't want to be spending any time with. In this, they were perfectly serviceable for what was going on, and they're giving you enough monster action in this movie that whenever it was cutting to a lot of the plot with the humans, I wasn't sitting there. It was worked in fine. I wasn't sitting there antsy or annoyed, really.
I feel like they got more emotive actors this time around. You know, other than like Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, who I love Elizabeth Olsen.
No, I do too.
But they were wasted in that movie.
Yeah, man.
Like Kyle Chandler, I really dug in this. I thought
I do too.
Ken Watanabe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Ken, he's great. I mean, he's it's one of those things like everything he does, he just goes for it. Like he's not gonna half-ass a role. Like if he takes a role,
not at all.
He's going. He's one of those great, and I love that when actors do that, no matter what the role is.
Yeah.
Because it makes the movie better.
Look at him in Detective Pikachu. Did you go see that?
Yes!
Yeah, he's acting in that movie like he's in a hard thriller. And in this movie, well, I like that we got Sally Hawkins in here too. So like, we're expecting any minute now someone's gonna bang that lizard. Like, so
she gets real close and just starts caressing the inner thigh of Godzilla. Like, how you doing?
Like, I know where this is going. Like, so I love Ken Watanabe's lines in this because it's sort of like even with. It kind of even doubles down on his "Let Them Fight" line from the 2014 one, where practically every line he has in this is like a stop the soundtrack moment, where like everyone is like a trailer line, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, they use a couple of them in the actual trailer, but he has such gravitas and screen presence, and he makes it work.
And I feel like he is one whose accent is not that pronounced. Like he could very much tone down the accent. But I think he does it for gravitas. like I'm pretty sure I've seen him in other movies where he doesn't go that hard on his accent. But then there are other movies where he just leans on it just a little bit more. And this is one of those movies where he's leaning on the accent just a little bit more.
It makes you he's so good that it makes you not, which I mean you shouldn't be thinking that hard in realistic terms about a movie like this, and if you are and you're focused a lot on that and it's taking you out of the movie, that means the movie's kind of failing at being entertaining. In this, it works because there's a lot of hilarious things they do with radiation in this movie. Like it's like so you'll see characters like Ken Watanabe just kind of take off their masks and do other things throughout the movie. Well, with him at a point it kind of makes sense, but like other than that, there really is no rules necessarily to radiation in this film.
No, but I mean, at least they didn't go like, this is going to immediately melt your face off, because
no, I wasn't expecting that.
I know, but they could have, and that would have been really cheesy. Instead, it was one of those things. It's like, well, you're going to be dead soon, but you're not going to look like you're dead until a while after.
Every character in this movie who lives at the end is going to be dead in like 3 months. But I mean, granted, now keep in mind, I am not using that as a knock towards this movie. I'm not. It's just kind of an amusing thing about it. Also, it's an easy thing to think about it because Chernobyl is on right now. True. So it's not that unrealistic that you maybe go there in your head a little bit.
Yeah, there's going to be no... The East Coast is going to be inhabitable for probably 1,000 years after this movie. Like, it's not going to happen.
I really did have a lot of fun with this movie.
Yeah.
I did think it was very entertaining. When they really stop for some very epic shots to happen, it is gorgeous. It really does work. There were a lot of times where it was a little shaky for my taste. I don't know. Did you feel that way in some of the action scenes?
Yeah, and I think it was the viewpoint shots, like when you were down on the ground with the characters, like, or in the Ospreys, or just basically any place where you were fixed in either vehicle or on the ground, like in the air and stuff. Like when they're doing like the Rodan, like the spiral, everything that's not fixed on the ground or in a vehicle, it's just it looks normal. And but you're right. I mean, and I don't know if that was necessarily an artistic decision or just something that, as they were filming, it naturally there was some shake. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I have to feel it was artistic because I feel like they could have easily stabilized those shots, but
that was something Laura really liked, and maybe because she said something about it that made me think maybe they were going for this kind of feel with some of it. She really liked a lot of that shaky stuff because she said it reminded her a lot of a found footage movie like Cloverfield.
And I think that's kind of, and I'm guessing it probably was artistic to make it more tense. When you're on the ground, like when you're supposed to be the viewpoint of one of these characters, and it's everything's shaking around you. Try to make maybe up the tension levels a little bit.
Some of it made it kind of hard for me to follow a little bit, but it wasn't like that consistently. It wasn't like I was necessarily sitting there confused about what was going on. It wasn't like watching like Taken 3 or what's something else they did? That last Resident Evil movie. It wasn't like that where you can't where there's absolutely no flow to it whatsoever. It wasn't like that. It was just more so like, I kind of wish they would maybe slow down some of these shots a little bit. But
I was agreeing with you on that one. Yeah.
I did enjoy this. It's not. I will say this. Like, it's not. Of all the Godzilla movies, I won't go so far as to say I would necessarily be quick to rewatch it necessarily. Like, now this is a very entertaining film, but it's kind of what I would picture in my head for a modern American blockbuster Godzilla movie to be. Right. If one comes out and it has these monsters in it and it's pretty good, this is kind of what I pictured in my head it would be. It has destruction in it that I've probably seen this year alone in a few other movies. Like, so even a lot of the destruction in it, the movie's an entertaining film, but I wasn't sitting there necessarily jaw-dropped by a lot of the destruction that was going on, because, I mean, it was feeling familiar. So because of that, if I am going to watch a Godzilla movie, it'll be one, like, certainly one of the older ones. Something that it has a little bit more uniqueness to it than some of the action in this film, really. And
really, that's just indicative of how American treat Godzilla versus how Japanese treat Godzilla. It's really two different characters. It always has been, because they're really two different audiences. One, I think the Japanese were, because of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think they were much more keyed in to that early on than we were. We haven't really until 79 with 3 Mile Island and the 86 with Chernobyl, it wasn't really there in our collective consciousness. So Godzilla was just one of those silly monster movies for us, but for a lot of Japanese it was a cautionary tale of, this is what, I mean, obviously it's very far-fetched, but this is what could happen, this is the cautionary tale of, this was, I mean, Godzilla is a nuclear bomb. Is exactly what it is, and it always started out, it was always silly, but it was always kind of a parable. And that first Godzilla movie was a lot more serious than later movies were. I mean, it got sillier when, it's still a guy in a suit, but there was a lot more weight to it than just a silly blockbuster action movie, which is what America has always treated it as.
Yeah, and that first one, it does still hold up. Now, I watched it again here a couple weeks ago. Granted, what I watched was the Raymond Berg cut of it, but even that, like, you still see the symbolism that it has in the movie. They still keep that in the film, and it still does have very haunting imagery in it. Even in that American edit of the movie, it still does. And, like, with the other Godzilla movies, too, there are different genres, There's the darker, moodier ones. There's ones that are like an action film. There's ones that are comedies, basically, or like children's fantasy films. Like, There, you know, like there's ones depending, I guess, on whatever mood you're in to watch a Godzilla. Whereas something like this, something like 2014, they're big American blockbuster movies.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good one, like it is. But I mean, like I said, it's what I kind of pictured in my head it would probably be. I of the three that we've had in this universe, Kong Skull Island's still my favorite.
Yeah.
This I'd put it as a second, and 2014 third. I did really like Skull Island a lot.
Skull Island's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it knew what it was, and that was kind of playing with us. Kong was always kind of our guy. You know? Godzilla was Japanese. The Kong was always the American. So we've always, I think, done better with Kong, like in most of his iterations, than we've done with Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of the same way. It's one of those things. It's like we've had Kong long enough that we buy into that mythos a lot more than we had bought into the Godzilla mythos. Where Japanese, I mean, they bought into Godzilla for what, 50 years now, 60 years. So
we need to get Q the Winged Serpent in this universe, like quick. I would love that so hard.
So
we get Q the Winged Serpent showing up in one of these.
Speaking of Kong, I mean, they do mention Kong.
They mention his name
because they are obviously setting up the Kong versus Godzilla. But there's really not more of a callback than just mentioning his name, which I was kind of surprised that there wasn't just a little, like even like a tease about it.
I guess the next one next year, I think, is gonna be Kong versus Godzilla.
I thought it was 2020. So,
yeah, I was expecting that too. I was. I even throughout the ending credits and everything, and maybe there was, and I just missed it. But I mean, I caught when they mentioned the name.
Because they mentioned it a couple times.
Yeah.
And they mentioned Skull Island directly more than once.
Yeah.
But just based on the fact that the first Godzilla teased this movie so much, like teased Ghidorah, I was kind of expecting a little bit more than just Kong. And then they did show the cave drawings of Kong fighting Godzilla, so I guess that is still the kind of same kind callback to the first movie where they were showing Ghidorah and the other monsters. But I guess we're kind of, I don't know, at this point I guess we're kind of spoiled for these in teaser credits, and it's really outside of Marvel movies, it's not really been something that has been widespread.
But you can always tell when there's going to be a post-credit scene in a movie, even if you don't know. Even if you don't know necessarily that there's going to be going into it, you go into a movie like this, and I'm like, there's going to be something after the ending credits.
Yeah.
I just have that. Hunch.
No, like with something like this, and knowing that there is going to be a Kong versus Godzilla movie, you almost kind of expect that they're going to at least do something to tease that. So, and they did. It just wasn't quite what I was thinking, which wasn't a problem. It was just I was just kind of surprised that they didn't do a little bit more with it. So
I recommend this. I think if you're a fan, you're going to get a lot of fun out of this movie. I thought it was an entertaining film.
Yeah.
I didn't love it by any means, but like I thought it was an entertaining flick, and I left I left plenty entertained by it. There are great Godzilla moments in this movie.
Oh yeah.
There's great Godzilla moments in the film where my favorite cuts of him in this movie are like when like he'll stand up or do something, and there'll be like a human character off in the distance, so you have this Godzilla kind of looking around like that, but then we'll just like stare daggers down at some human standing there.
He just really didn't like Kyle Chandler throughout the film. He was big balling Kyle Chandler this whole movie, just staring him down like, you want to start something? Like, please start something, because I want something to happen. That was just Kyle Chandler of all. Like he seemed to key in on him every time. I'm just like, this seems very odd.
I've gotten that look from Lloyd many times. Let's go to the
let's start something. Let's do it.
Let's go to the super chat here real quick, and then we'll move on to the next review, which will be for Ma. We just got one here in the super chat. So yeah, if you want your comments or questions read during the stream, we do these between the reviews and then at the end as well. Thank you so much, Tiana City, for the donation to the super chat, who just says, "Welcome back, Irving."
It's good to be back. It's been a while, so
yeah.
No reason. Not really any reason. Just been super busy and working all the damn time. So it's not been anything bad. It's just I work all the damn time anymore, so it seems like I never have time to do this. So
You came on a good night though. Like, it's not like you're stuck here on some weekend where we're just talking about nothing but crap.
true. Yeah, at least it was somewhat enjoyable movie. So
Yeah, there's no
So-
just getting started on the show tonight. Let's take a look at a clip from the trailer real quick for Ma, and I'll be back here with her. You didn't see this one, but I did.
Yeah.
So let's pop up the trailer real quick.
Excuse me, can you buy some booze for my friends and I?
Not interested.
Please?
Hell. Ain't much, but it's all you.
Cool basement.
You're free to do whatever you want down here, but nobody go upstairs.
This is so sick.
Drink alone. Don't make me drink alone.
Max, I want you to meet someone.
Nice to meet you, Maggie.
We went to high school together.
What are you doing?
This is the most fun.
So, as you've seen from the title card of this episode, this whole week is Godzilla versus Ma versus Elton John. A matchup I didn't know that's what I wanted, but I'm so glad that it's happened. This team up of all these titans fighting each other. Man, so this is the one this weekend that you didn't go see. Now, I
No.
saw this film, and I can vouch for the fact that, like, dude, you're missing my favorite movie out this weekend.
you know, I watched that trailer and I'm like, this is gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I am probably going to enjoy every goddamn minute of it. So
Oh,
yeah.
dude. You are getting Octavia Spencer just messing with these kids for 90-some minutes, and it is so glorious. Now, if you don't know the details of this movie, now what this film is, it is this group of teenagers, these 5 friends. They just want to hang out after school. They just want to get some booze. So they hang out outside the liquor store. They find Octavia Spencer's character, who they end up later calling Ma. They get her to buy this booze for them, and she does. And then she says, well, you know, if you want a place to drink where you're safe and everything, oh, you can just come back to my place. Hang out in my basement. Sure, why not? Seems legit. That's safe enough that you could drink and just get trashed and everything. Now, what's great going into a movie like this really is how dumb these kids
How
are.
dumb white kids are.
Yeah.
White kid. Oh, let's hide in this house full of knives, or let's do. Oh yeah, let's completely go down to this basement of someone we don't know who just bought us alcohol. That's safe.
At the same time, like, I've been a teenager, like we both have. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm sitting there
we
like,
are really dumb.
yeah,
We are.
The funny thing about this movie, though, is, like, how they love partying and drinking so much that it's not like she does get crazier as the movie goes along, but she already starts out kind of crazy. There are signs early on that she's nuts. But, I mean, you know, hey, she is supplying booze. There is weed there. So what's hilarious is I'm glad I found this shot from the movie. You see that? That's when they first arrive.
Is she holding him at
Yes.
gunpoint?
So this guy
Yeah,
right here.
no. It was nice to meet you. I'm going home. See ya.
This dude right here gets in her face and talks smack to her, and then she grabs this gun, puts it in his face. The other 4 are sitting there just like their arms up, like, oh my god, and she makes him strip naked, and then puts the gun down and goes like, I'm just kidding, I'm just messing with you guys, this place is great, you can drink all you want. And that guy who's been forced at gunpoint to strip naked,
He's like,
and
yeah, he
Yeah.
does, doesn't? Oh.
yeah, he's like, Ma,
Oh,
What?
you silly lady. You silly lady. You always have the best jokes.
But you know what makes it work is that there's a lot of things that really, really do work about this film. I mean, yeah, you are getting a lot of crazy, like her just calling them, like, frequently, like a jilted lover, calling and leaving long voice message videos going, come over to my place, I know it's Wednesday, but you can still drink. She'll show up at their school and be like, it's 5:30 somewhere, just come back over to my place. They'll be like, oh, but Ma, we really have to study. Yeah, they'll be just like, hey, do you check? Maybe we should stop going here. I don't know. But then they'll be like, well,
or maybe we should just get rid of these phones that she gave us because maybe she's using that to track us.
They do block her number at one point, I think, or they try to.
She probably has like if those look like iPhones. She probably has Find My
Yeah.
Friends on it, so she knows even they block her. She knows exactly where they're at.
But people still have like birthday parties and over there because it is at the end of the day still the best place to go and drink and just get totally wasted. Like, well, I guess we got to deal with Ma's crazy stuff, and this is after like she will like straight up like threaten them for going upstairs.
Like that doesn't look like a big city.
It's not. It is small town mentality.
Are there no abandoned barns? Anything?
Oh.
Cornfields?
They address
come
that.
on.
They do
Okay,
address
all
that
right,
in the movie.
fair enough. Because at least that closes up that little bit of a plot. Well, one plot hole, sure.
Because the kids' parents in this movie, aside from the main girl, whose mom is Juliette Lewis, who's very good in the movie, but Luke Evans is like one of the kids' dads, who's like just a dick through the movie. So like at one point the cops catch the kids drinking at this rock quarry or something, but the cop is like, yeah, look, I'm not gonna arrest you because I hate your dad. Like, just go somewhere else to drink. So
get out of here.
It's very much small town mentality, and that's how a lot of them kind of end up here at Ma's place, and why they're just giving her all the chances in the world, essentially. Like, she'll
keep pointing guns at us. We don't care as long as you feed us alcohol.
She'll do that. She'll grab them and like threaten them for going upstairs, and then when they're like, we should probably block her number or something, she shows up again and then makes up this like sob story that she's like dying or something like that, just to kind of make up stuff. They're like, well, okay, I guess we can go back over there and drink. But what really, there's a lot of things that do make it work to where you're not sitting there just frustrated.
Like, come on, really? Okay.
What really does is that, like, yeah, the kids are dumb. They are. But
like, even the token black guy?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He doesn't realize, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. I've seen Crazy before, and she crazy.
Oh, no.
No?
He's like, he's one of the main ones who just keeps turning up there and just keeps getting drunk. So what makes it work is that the kids are likable. Like, they are funny. They have funny lines with each other. The acting between them is good. They're dumb in a way that it's not like I hadn't seen that before when I was in high school, or even kind of well, not experienced what this movie's doing, but like I can wrap my head around that kind of dumb small town mentality. But the kids do remain likable. They have funny lines with each other. Sometimes their stupidity is legitimately funny. There's a part where Ma leaves just a box of booze and a phone by their van, and they just see this box there and they're like, what's that? One kid goes like, what if it's a bomb? And the other kid goes like, oh, dude, if that was a bomb, that would suck so hard. And then they just see this random box that Ma's left, like, well, I know it's Tuesday, but sure, let's go over there and just drink with Ma. Now, the best part of the movie is, it is certainly Octavia Spencer. Now, Octavia Spencer, her character in this movie, the character of Ma, has like a slasher movie origin. When you find out what she's doing and why she's doing it, what's caused her to do it, it's reminiscent of things you would see from movies like Prom Night to Slaughter High, or even Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit. It is, they give her this origin that you would see a lot of back then, and it works because she went to high school with a lot of the kids' parents. They show that in the trailer, that she went to high school with a lot of them. And so she went to high school back in the 80s. So when she is partying with a lot of these teenagers, she's playing stuff from like her day, you know. She's playing like Funky Town and later like Kung Fu Fighting. They play at one point. She's listening to Earth, Wind and Fire in the car. Now when you find out why she's doing what she's doing, they do a good job of making her really sympathetic. You actually are rooting for a lot of stuff she does in the movie. Like, there are characters in this movie that straight up just have it coming. Like, when you find out what's led up to this, it actually is pretty disturbing. And I've seen it done certainly in slasher movies before, but in a lot of those slasher movies, like something bad happened years later, it's a mass
something
killer.
comes back, yeah.
It's a mass killer going around, and
Right.
they're killing people at prom night. In this, they do a good job of really creating a sense of empathy for this character. Now, obviously, the character is deranged, and it goes several steps far, but you get what's led up to this point and how crazy this character is. I really liked this movie a lot. The movie it has humor in it that's subtle. Like, it's never like it's never like a pause for laughter moment. You're laughing at a lot of the things these kids are saying.
The absurdity of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the evil looks that she is giving to a lot of them. How she'll just show up. She is so good in this movie. She owns this film so hard. And she's having a blast in this. She's so great in this, and the character is so great and genuine. It's like watching like this new like great horror icon on screen. Like, I could see that really happening with this character. It truly works.
And it just plays into her as an actor. I mean,
Yeah.
she's always really like she's another one that always puts in her all into every role she does, and it's just again, it's when it's something like this. I mean, you would really think it'd be easy to just kind of phone something in and just go over the top hammy with it, but it sounds like, I mean, she went the way she should have gone with it to make to elevate the film to an otherwise would have been just kind of mediocre, like okay, a teen's getting harassed by a crazy person type thing.
Dude, yeah, totally. Like, I'm gonna compare it to something else here in a little bit because this other movie's gotten brought up in the super chat, but it really did. It was a great piece of entertainment. Like, it was like, even from just silly things these kids are doing to parts where Ma is genuinely funny, then also parts where you are rooting for her to get some of these people, and then other scenes where she is legit just a psychopath. But it never feels like it's just a different character. It feels like this is the same character. There's just a lot of depth here going on, and about 20 or 30 years worth of a lot of haunting stuff she's gone through to make this happen. There's a plot element that you don't see in the trailer, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but there is some crazy stuff that she's even got going on with her life that's like Carrie territory a little bit. Like, it's totally worth checking out. Like, the movie ended and I'm like, I love this film. I absolutely loved it. This is one of my favorite things playing right now. Like, I highly recommend going to see this. You'll have a blast with this movie. I had so much fun watching this. I loved the trailer for this film. I loved every time the trailer for this popped up. Like, I went in going like, yeah, this is what I want to see. Octavia Spencer just crazy going after these teenagers. You do get that, and you also get some pretty haunting stuff in the movie as well. Like, it was a solid, like, stalker thriller with a lot of horror elements to it. Like, she does some crazy stuff to these kids. Like, I mean, you see a little bit of it in the trailer. Like, the trailer does kind of spoil a few things. Not everything, but a few things.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does crazy stuff to these kids in the last act of the movie. All right, yeah, dude, totally check this out, man.
Well, I was actually probably going to anyway, but
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna have to now. So.
You got A-list now, don't you?
Yeah.
AMC A-list.
Yeah, I think I might hit up the craziness that is Brightburn just to see how.
Oh yeah. Brightburn was fun.
And then Ma, and then probably go see Aladdin this weekend sometime too.
I'm so glad that you. Oh wait, you haven't seen Brightburn yet.
No.
Oh okay.
Evil Superman. I mean,
there's one shot. I'll say that it's not. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but like there's a shot that happens towards the end that's like the same thing as a shot from Godzilla towards the last act of it. You'll know it. You'll know it when you see it.
All right.
Where I was like, oh, well, evil Superman and King Ghidorah kind of have some of the same moves.
Interesting.
You'll know it when you see it, but like there's like the same wrestling move used in both of them.
Oh my.
But let me get to a few. Thank you so much for the super chats here. We'll answer and read off a few of these, and then get to our last review of the night. This is a good question. Adam Grunther, did you find Bradley Whitford's character in Godzilla annoying? No.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of his character from Cabin in the Woods. If he didn't actually die and
Yeah.
just became more obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, I don't know if it was... Whitford's always been the sarcastic asshole in a lot of the stuff he does, like, movie-wise.
Or in the 80s when he was just like the asshole jock boyfriend.
I mean, come on, he was in friggin' Billy Madison. I mean, like,
Yeah.
did we really expect him to go that much farther than what? Like, he does that role well, and I get it. It's one of those types of characters that you're either really just gonna be like, I can't, no, or you'll be like, okay, this is Whitford easily, yeah.
Here's why I didn't mind. I mean, he's a comic relief in the movie. Him along with the dude from Silicon Valley.
Thomas Middleditch.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, him. Like those two are kind of the comic relief of the movie a little bit. What I didn't find Bradley Whitford annoying in this movie at all, because one thing in my head, I mean, especially thinking about it afterwards, was like I've seen that kind of part done more annoying, like Brent Spiner in the second Independence Day movie.
Oh yeah, see, I never watched because I'm like, nope.
Oh,
not even gonna try.
Man, yeah, you ain't missing anything.
No, because that's just,
like
20
that.
years too late.
That was he's in the second one way more than he was in the first movie, and he's a little Brent Spiner's a little grating, and that character is in the second Independence Day movie. That to me was a worse version of what Bradley Whitford is doing here. Not that Bradley Whitford is playing like this mad scientist in a lab coat, but they're both kind of serving the same sort of sarcastic function in the movie a little bit. So no, I didn't mind that at all. Jim D says Maw versus Godzilla. Mothra versus Godzilla. That's what I want. Who you got? Maw versus Godzilla. Well, I mean, if she gets Godzilla drunk, probably Maw.
She's sneaky. She may just get inside that Godzilla trust bubble and just got him.
This is the movie I was talking about here a second ago when I was like, I'll bring this up in the super chat because I can see the question there. Maw versus the Intruder from Tiana City. Maw is a way better version of like the Intruder, that Dennis Quaid movie that was out.
Yeah.
The Dennis Quaid movie, it was entertaining as hell, and I loved being there watching it, but it wasn't a good movie.
Right.
Like, it was a terribly written film. The backstory's stupid. The characters are dumb like they are in the Intruder, or like they are in Maw, but at least in Maw they're teenagers
and they don't know any better.
Yeah, and it's like they're at least kind of funny about it, whereas in The Intruder it was just kind of bad writing. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining because it was great seeing Dennis Quaid go insane in this movie. Yeah. This, like, they're similar stalker thrillers certainly, but Maw does way better with the backstory. It does way better with the tension, the humor as well. Both of them I would recommend watching, but Maw I thought was legit awesome, whereas The Intruder is like an awesomely bad movie. Both, especially if you have AMC A-list, The Intruder is worth going to go see.
Well, yeah, and that's the nice thing about A-list is you get to see a lot of stuff that you may, I mean, if you were on the fence about, you know, not to promote that at all because it's, you know, but I mean, if you're gonna get it, if you're seeing a lot of movies, it really is worth it. And like, I've been seeing a lot more stuff than I probably wouldn't have otherwise seen because I'm just like, but since it's, you know,
I've ran into you at the theater a few times. I was like pulling in watching 2 or 3 movies or something like that because it doesn't cost anything, like other than the fee a month.
Yeah, and you watch a couple movies and it pays for it, so it's like, well,
yeah,
you know, if I'm watching at least one movie a week, if not two, then yeah, it's definitely worth it for me. So
I fill up my because you get 3 a week, and I fill up mine like every week.
yeah. Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
You're one of the people that get balanced out by the people who go see one movie a month and still pay for it. It's
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
and they know that, so it's
Will Day says Thaddeus Chubby Chadsworth. He was funnier than Billy Bright. Do you know that reference?
Mm-mm.
I don't know that reference, man. I'm sorry.
It's
Oh yeah, go for
you
it.
know what? Let's just yeah, we'll see.
I got the chat up here
we're
too.
We're not that much of a
Seeing if anyone catches that reference, because Thaddeus Chadsworth. Well, according to the super chat, well, I did. Someone's shocked that I don't know I don't know every reference. Will Day does say in the chat. He goes, "That's okay. I'm sorry, I don't catch the reference, man. What is it?"
I'm not pulling up anything. So if it is, I mean, that's a deep cut.
Just porn comes up.
Just holy shit. That's why they call him Chubs.
Oh, ha ha! A Strokemon reference.
Oh god.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our last one here, which is one that both of us went to go see. You went to go see this last night, and I saw it earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, because I ran across town and double featured it.
Yeah, I've done that too, where I go see one at the other one too, just in case I want to drink or something like that. The other theater's got a bar.
And reclining seats. It's like...
The reclining seats. And the tickets are lower too.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at a clip of the trailer here from Rocketman. We'll be back with a review.
So how does a fat boy from nowhere get to be a soul man?
You gotta kill the person you were born to be in order to become the person you want to be.
You know what? Here's the first thing I'll say. Like, wouldn't it be great if, like, this turned into, like, a new, like, movie universe? Where, imagine, like, I don't know, if there was a reference to something in Bohemian Rhapsody, or maybe even Mike Myers showed up as the same character in this film, that maybe, like, the ending credits of Bohemian Rhapsody, a post-credit scene, someone puts down a folder, like, there are other rock stars. And imagine, like, there's a bunch of those movies, and then it all leads to a Live Aid movie.
Well, technically, John Reed is in both movies. But by two different characters.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Because Aidan Gillen, I believe that's John Reed that he's playing.
Was it?
Hold on, let me double check. But I think he's playing John Reed in that one. And it's
Yeah.
two completely different characters.
Dude, I was gonna say, he's way more sinister in this one. You'd think the Aidan Gillen one would be the more sinister one. The dude, I'm not sure who's playing him in this one, but he's doing a hell of a Colin Farrell in this film. I was about to, like, if you were to say it was the same actor, I'd be like, oh, dude, seriously? Is this like a universe we're doing
he
right
plays
now?
John Reed.
Really?
Yeah.
See, it should have been the same actor. You should have got, as much as I like the guy from this film, you could have gotten Aidan Gillen back in this one.
I mean, it was just a Game of Thrones thing, you know?
Yeah.
Richard Madden in his
thick
Scottish accent.
Right, yeah. This is Rob Stark in this one. I don't even watch Game of Thrones. I just know that because if you're on Twitter, you just know who all the characters are. Like, oh, he's Rob Stark, right? No, so it's, you know, the comparisons between this and Bohemian Rhapsody from last year are going to be inevitable, especially due to the fact that Dexter Fletcher is the director of this film, and he was the one who he produced Bohemian Rhapsody, and he took over directing.
Finished cleaning it up, and I mean, he did what he could with it.
Yeah. I will say this, because you and I, so when you showed up, because you went to the other theater to go see this last night, and I saw it today, and when you showed up here, the first thing that you and I said was this, every single iota of this film, every single thing about it is 1,000 times better than anything in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, this is what Bohemian Rhapsody should have strived for.
Yeah.
And just whether they were scared to go that far.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even like Rocketman was like this big gay epic. I mean, it was just more of like, they didn't beat around the bush about it. It's like, Elton's gay. He's having gay sex. He's getting into cocaine. You know, they didn't care.
Yeah, this movie's an R. Like, and it goes hard on the drug abuse, the alcohol abuse. It goes hard on like a sequence like in a disco where practically like a Caligula orgy is about to break out in the middle of a musical number.
Yeah, it's almost the same type of scene where Freddie was going to the leather bar.
Yeah,
but he just kind of was like, "Oh, hi, this is curious." Where Elton John's like, "Fuck me, boys, do it now."
Yeah. There's fine. There's some of us on YouTube have had to kind of bleep the curse words lately.
Bad, guys.
No, you're fine.
But it's exactly that's how he is in this movie. And if Rami Malek got an Oscar for this for his role in Bohemian Rhapsody, which I won't deny was his characters. I liked him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If Taron Egerton doesn't get if he does not get a nod, I'm gonna be really disappointed because he is great in this, and he does his own singing.
Yes, he becomes Elton John in this film. Like, that's the one thing that I'm like, that's this frustrated thought in my head. I'm like, oh gosh, watch, like, this isn't gonna make nearly as much money as Bohemian Rhapsody, and probably won't get as many award nominations, cause of course, like, and this is the far better movie. He becomes this character. He is Elton John in this movie. When I'm watching in this, whether it's his performance on stage, him like in all of these musical numbers and everything, how he talks and everything, he becomes Elton John in this film. Whereas, as much as I thought Rami Malek was fine, there was a lot of things that were distracting that didn't have much to do with his performance necessarily. It was between a lot of the distracting makeup that they had that looked like makeup. It didn't look real. It looked like makeup on his face. There was never a point in that with this film with him as Elton John. And that this movie as well, it's different than Bohemian Rhapsody in the sense that this movie it's a musical.
Right. Bohemian Rhapsody was a movie that had Queen music in it.
Yeah.
Rocketman is a musical about Elton John.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry. And a cameo from Maude on the way.
Back. Oh, she won't.
Scalping tickets.
She is pissed that we're not talking about her anymore. Sorry, Ma. Sorry.
This is what Ma's basement looked like in the 70s.
And it's one of those things like with like the Queen stuff.
Yeah.
They tried to make the music chronological.
Yeah.
Where with this, you know, like I Need Love is a later Elton John song, but it is sung during his early childhood years. They don't care. It's used because it fits the emotions in that moment, and it works.
Oh, the first I think the first song in the movie, or at least an earlier one, it's when the kid's like 5-6 years old, and he's singing the bitches back.
Yes.
Like, it's great because this movie is advertised like it is a fantasy film to go along with what Elton John's image is.
Yeah.
All of the grand costuming and everything, the show that he puts on, this is put forward as an Elton John musical about Elton John's life. So what they're doing with all of these glam scenes, as well as even when he's a kid, what they're doing with colors, where when he's a little kid and older Elton John is standing there, and like they're in fuller color, whereas everyone else is in color, but
muted.
Yeah,
exactly. It's real subtle, but it's one of those things. It's a neat.
Yeah.
It's a neat directorial, like an editing choice, a directorial choice, and it's just those little things that ultimately make this a much better movie, and much better. Like, it's just everything about it, from the editing to the directorial choices to the fact that they didn't really beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Like, Elton was an asshole. Like, he treated some people. He treated one of his co-writer of his songs. Like dirt all the time for a long time. And it's like Freddie, they made him a little queenie, a little bitchy, but everybody was quick to be like, "Oh, come back to us, Freddie." No, Elton hit rock bottom. Like
Yeah,
he
man.
hit, and they didn't care if you noticed, if you know it or not. They were going to show you, yeah, he's not a good person, and
Dude.
he's just. I mean, and granted, it shows a lot. I think it shows a lot better, like why he was. Like the characterization is much better, setting up how he became Elton versus where. That was one of the big things about Freddie is. It started right before he started joining the band, whereas Elton's was a chronicle of him coming up as a kid, and his parent, his home life was not great. He was confused about his sexuality. It was one of those things. It's like they did a better job of setting up Elton John's character to where later on, when you start to see him go through this stuff, you feel for him a lot. Like I felt a lot more for him than I felt for Freddie Mercury. And Freddie Mercury's dead. I mean, the man died of AIDS. And if you can't make me feel like,
because that movie it felt like a very generic Hollywood biopic, whereas this movie, there are like Scarface levels of cocaine use in this movie. Like it does not shy away from this guy's addiction, his alcohol addiction, while still doing it in this very a fun musical. I mean, look at this shot right here. This is a shot of him.
The opening scene. Yeah.
Of him about to walk into rehab.
And he walks into rehab full gear. And I really hope that this is what really happened. I'm assuming they talked to Elton a lot, so I'm assuming he probably gave them insight into what was going on. I hope. Even if they didn't, I hope he was like, ooh, that's a great idea. I wish I would have done that. Put it in the movie.
Here's what I like about that sequence, too, because it frequently cuts back to that where he's in rehab telling the story about his life so far. And as those cutaways go on, he's losing more and more of the costume and becoming more... what's the word I'm looking for? Like, by the end of it, he's just kind of sitting...
He's stripped bare.
Yeah.
He is no longer the Elton John. He is the cross between Elton John and Reginald Dwight. And there's a really... And that point goes to a poignant scene where he sees his kid self, and they kind of meet.
Yeah.
And it is this really beautiful, metaphor for him kind of joining himself and finding out who he really is and what he really wants. And it was really done well. Like it was one of those things. Just like this is a perfect way to characterize what he's going through. His kind of epiphany of, here's who I am. I'm finally figuring out who I want to be instead of I've been this character because this person wants me to be this character. This person wants me to be this character. He was never really himself until he realized what he really wanted. So,
and he gets to have these moments too where he addresses to these other characters that he's really been an ass to, like after hitting the addiction between sex addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, where you were like really like what you go back to a lot in this movie is the relationship he has with his songwriter, Bernie.
Top End, is it? Yeah. Top End, I think is his last name. Yeah.
Those two in the film, like, because you see like that these guys are practically brothers, but you see like, man, Elton John goes so far off the deep end in this movie that like his friends and everyone, like they're trying hard, but it's just reaching a point where some of these characters just simply can't do it anymore.
Right.
I mean it's not only a great musical, it's a brilliantly directed film, a brilliantly acted film, but it's also a great movie about addiction.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It is. and to make it so colorful with the music and the musical numbers and everything, but to still hit very real shit with addiction.
It's a beautiful movie about terrible subject matter.
Yeah. It works so well. I was glad that there was a lot of people there, too, at my screening for it. What was it like at yours?
It was almost. I mean, it was 3/4 full. So I mean, it was definitely not empty. And I got the vibe that everybody really enjoyed it. Like, start singing along to the songs a little bit and whatnot. And and I give everybody in this movie, whether it was done in post or what, everybody has a pretty good singing voice.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought was like, oh, that's just... Everybody, like, when it would jump to other characters singing Elton songs, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, Bryce Dallas Howard, I'm just like, I didn't know she could actually sing. I mean, whether or not she got coached, but I mean, like, they got that out of her, so I'm like, well, that's okay.
She's good in the movie, and if there is any, and this is light, if there is any criticism I have towards the movie is that she's playing his mother, and there's a lot of scenes they look the same exact age. In fact, there's some scenes where he looks even older than she does.
Which, from what I've heard, like, the fact, like, when he was real deep into his binging, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if she did look his age or younger, because...
Sure, that's a good point. Cocaine does age the hell out of you.
And
It does.
You know,
Trust me.
And you combine that with, you know, like, alcohol and just, and lack of sleep, and it looked like he was doing Quaaludes at some point.
Oh,
just
dude, he
everything.
is chugging pills in this and
Everything.
booze. Like,
yeah.
crap, dude, it's a miracle you're alive.
Oh yeah, no, the fact that he is alive today
Uh-huh.
is amazing, because all of that probably would have killed somebody else.
God, yeah.
And not only that, but for him to have come out of it.
Uh-huh. Was he 38 years sober? 35, 38 years, something like that?
Yeah, it's been close to 3 decades, I believe.
Yeah.
And to have, like, not really ever have the slowdown from it. Like, a lot of people will say when they were doing this stuff, it was their most creative period.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's one of those things that everything starts firing, you know. So you're just going.
Yeah, I mean, not that. Well, I mean, I still do plenty of stuff on the site, but when I was in that period in my 20s, back in the early mid 2000s. Yeah, I was doing movies and writing a lot back then, and I still do now too. A difference being, one, that's some weird stuff I was writing and directing back then, and also those
we had to have a lot of fun with it.
No, we did. Like, and also those scripts were longer than the Bible. we did this movie in 2005 called Cheap, and if that movie wasn't edited down, it'd be like a 3.5 hour movie. That script was like 300 pages, which is long for a script, especially one about snuff films. Yeah, no, I can.
But like,
yeah, I dig this movie, man. Like, I'm like, I hear you. I hear what you're doing here with addiction.
and then what I was getting, like, for him to get sober, and then write the music for The Lion King, which for an entire generation is beloved. And I mean, and they're like, those are great songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'll give him all the credit in the world, you know, because I love Phil Collins. I hate Tarzan. Blame Canada should have won the Oscar for Best Original Song.
Uh-huh.
Piss on anything in Tarzan. I love you, Phil Collins, but no.
I do love Phil Collins.
I do. I really love Phil Collins, but I'm still mad to this day that they did not get an Oscar for that. They'd have been EGOT. They could have been EGOT winners if they would have won the Oscar. Think about that. Trey Parker and Matt Stone could have feasibly been EGOT winners, which is an elite club. And to have those two listed in the same, like, as Barbra Streisand and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's just like, that's really...
Just for performance alone at the Oscars, Blame Canada should have won the Oscar for Best Song that year. But
to get back to it, the Lion King soundtrack, those songs are amazing.
Yeah,
they really are, and like, you could just pull those out of that movie, and they're still great songs to listen to. You know, they work on their own, and the fact that he did that after he just got off everything, it's just like he never really stopped being creative. Obviously, he's slowed down a lot now, but I mean, who can blame him, man?
Dude,
he has lived a hell of a life, and I think he's kind of earned that.
Dude, it would have been great if what they did get into, like, wasn't like, the movie ends way before the events in the early 90s were doing, like, The Lion King. But what if it did go into the 90s, but it didn't touch on The Lion King, but instead was about, like, his song Runaway Train with him and Eric Clapton at the end of Lethal Weapon 3? Like, that's what they hardcore get into, like, oh yeah.
Oh man, that was
Now I know the full story.
They can't all be winners. They can't.
I love Lethal Weapon 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it would have been funny if, like, oh man, this is a biopic that's made for me. It's touching on Lethal Weapon 3 and not The Lion King. Or oh god, that's what we need. We need like a trilogy of these movies. That way it gets into like the 2000s and gets into Romeo and Juliet. Oh man, but no, I highly recommend this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. I really did. Like I wasn't a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought this movie did so much right that movie did wrong.
And it makes me wonder if Dexter Fletcher had been there on Bohemian Rhapsody from the start. If I don't know, like, if everything would have changed, but if maybe some of the directorial choices may have been different to maybe they go a little bit farther with Freddy's story. Maybe they actually try and push the boundaries of it a little bit more than, because this one, they don't care. They're just like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, well, this is not the movie for you. But we're not going to sugarcoat. The man had so many vices, and he lived hard for quite a while.
Oh, the audience I was with loved it. Like,
Oh,
it got applause at the end of it.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear anybody complaining when I was leaving, and everybody seemed like I said, they were kind of singing their songs. Kind of, I saw tapping the feet and whatnot.
I was.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, I was just like, yeah.
It made me re-love a lot of his songs because I did listen to a lot of Elton John when I was a kid, and I liked him a lot when I was younger. It reached a point where he got to be, his classics got to be, for me at least, really overplayed in Springfield, like to the point to where, like, I think there was one time I heard like 7 in a single day.
The classic rock station really, during that era, really overplayed a lot of those, because I mean, it was, I don't know if it was they just didn't trust some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. The classic station here, classic rock, just really went off the deep end and playing. There was like 6 or 7 artists that you were guaranteed to hear 3 or 4 times a day.
And it would burn
every
you
day.
out.
Oh yeah.
Like
it definitely would.
It would burn you out because you're just hearing kind of the same few and multiple times a day. So it got to a point where a lot of his, like, I was like, I'm just so burnt out on a lot of these. It's on like several times on several. Granted, it's kind of been a while really since I'd say that. Like, because this was maybe 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, granted, it was for quite a few years. But I don't know if I would necessarily say that now if I were to listen to the radio. But this movie, like, it did. It did make me really re-love a lot of these songs again, like I did when I was younger.
I was feeling old the other day because they were doing, they were starting to do classic rock. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna start 70s, 80s. They were playing grunge, and I'm like, what? Like,
oh man,
that's a Soundgarden song, and then I'm like, oh, Soundgarden came out. That song was over 20 years old. Oh yeah, it is. Damn it.
Nothing's gonna top.
And I'm like, oh,
nothing's gonna top how old I felt like. When I went to go see Booksmart, which is a good movie, but like when I went to go see Booksmart and I sat there and was like,
out of your element.
No, not so much that, because I expected that going in,
right.
that like, well, this is made for a much younger generation, but like, no, when it was, because it revolves around a high school graduation, and I sat there and went, oh my god, these characters were born the year I graduated high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my goddaughter is graduating tomorrow night, and I'm just like, this is, I can't, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't right now.
We'll find out in 2 weeks. Dave and Sarah's kid are graduating high school.
Right. But like, hey,
is I in a coma?
Here's your invitations to Sophie's graduation. Like, excuse me? What? Come again? Because no.
Let's get to the last couple of super chats here before we call it today. From Will Day again. Dick Van Dyke was Billy Bright in the comic. Oh, okay. I don't think I saw the comic. Chubby Chadsworth is my creation. He went berserk in 1924 after his 1 millionth pie to the face. I like that. I like that story.
All right.
Let's
run with that.
I hope that's the Joker's origin in the new movie.
The last pie to the face. It's like, that's it. Done.
Zero Armor. Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't a movie. It was an ad campaign. I mean, it was just a very prototypical music biopic.
Which is disappointing because it's like the Queen music. You can do some difference. Like with Rocketman, they didn't just play the music as it was performed.
Yeah.
You know, this was a musical, so you had different variations of these songs.
Yeah.
And it looked like they actually took the time to compose this music in a musical sense. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna play the soundtrack and he's gonna lip sync to it. You know, which is really one of the disappointing things with Bohemian Rhapsody. I would have at least liked to have seen Freddie Mercury at least make an attempt, and I think he actually, if I remember reading, Rami Malek really was very. He wanted to, and I think for for whatever reason they just kind of went away from that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure he's probably I think he's disappointed in the overall characterization because I think he wanted to go hard, you know. And I think that was also part of the reason that Sacha Baron Cohen clashed with him so much because I think he wanted something closer to what we got with Rocketman. I think he wanted to go like, look. Why are we going to sugarcoat this? You know, and Sacha Baron Cohen has always been known as the guy who pushes buttons anyway.
Yeah.
So there's no way he would have been on board with just what we got out of them. There's no way. He'd have been like, this is terrible. I don't know.
I do hope that this gets the recognition that one gets. Like, I hope people do remember this by the end of the year. Like, once awards season comes around, because this movie is out earlier this year than Bohemian Rhapsody was last year, which came out a little late last year,
right?
Like around when they would be pushing some awards stuff, or at least the general area. So I hope people remember this by the time the year ends.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, in the super chat for contributing as well. Next, I'm at a convention next week. I'm at Indie PopCon. We're going to be at Indie PopCon next weekend.
Where do these cons keep popping up? It's all of a sudden
right.
Like, this is, what? Never heard of it. Really?
No, Indie PopCon's a good. Like I did that a few years ago. Indie PopCon is that's a really fun one to Indianapolis one to do. A lot of like YouTube people go to that one. Gotcha, so it's we typically get a pretty good crowd whenever we go to
So it's not exactly my crowd, but somebody's shot.
But we got that coming up next weekend. But we do the two movies that are out there. A couple of the big movies that are out next weekend is Secret Life of Pets, which we let me pop that up here again if I can find it. Secret Life of Pets, which we've already seen and we've already reviewed. So that's out next weekend, but you can see our review of it because we saw an early screening of it. Gino and I reviewed that one. So go ahead and check that one out. Also, there's what else is next weekend? Oh, X-Men Dark Phoenix is next weekend, but Gino and I are seeing an early screening of it, right? Gino and I are seeing an early screening of that tomorrow. So we're going to have an early review up
How
for
they
X-Men.
went off the rails so bad when they started out so good with First Class.
Yeah.
That was
I got my fingers crossed. I hope
and they just...
I hope it turns out all right. And we'll be seeing it Monday, so the review will be up either Monday night or Tuesday afternoon.
Even Days of Future Past, which wasn't as good.
I liked it a lot.
But I did like it, and then it was just like, and then Apocalypse, I'm just like, oh.
It's just wildly mediocre.
Which, for one, you kind of took one of my all-time favorite X-Men villains, and you really just crapped him up. Mm-hmm. I mean...
You didn't like Ivan Ooze, man?
I love Oscar Isaac.
Uh-huh.
He was completely miscast in that role. Just wildly miscast.
They didn't let him do anything with it. Like, it
Right.
could have been really anybody playing that. It's
Yes.
like when they got Eccleston for Thor the Dark World.
Playing that elf with his... Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it was one of those... I'm just like, this is where we're going with this. I'm like, one of the most iconic X-Men villains, and you're... You know, so now I'm just like, well, I don't expect them to do any better with Dark Phoenix. I mean, they couldn't do it right the first time. What makes me think they're going to do it right the second time?
It's got the same writer attached to it.
What is it, Kinsberg? Or is it somebody else?
Let me ask the chat. Who's writing, because it's the same writer who was attached to X-Men: The Last Stand.
Somebody's like Bryan Singer's why? No, because Bryan Singer was really good with those first 2 X-Men movies.
Kinberg is directing it.
Kinberg's directing it. So.
Yeah, Kinberg's directing. I couldn't remember who's directing
I knew he was attached to it somehow, but I couldn't.
He's also the
is
writer.
okay.
So I mean, he's done stuff that I've liked, certainly. But I mean, he was. And I mean, you know, you never know.
Now, to be fair, don't give Bryan Singer the time of day because he's a really terrible person. But I will not deny that those first couple X-Men movies really, like Blade first, when Blade came out, which Blade was not great, but Blade was a lot of fun, and it proved that comic book movies could be viable again.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, we have to start with that. You know, an R-rated movie that was pretty successful for a comic book movie out of a character who really wasn't that well known outside of comic fandom. And then when Singer came in with X-Men and then X2 especially, I think really helped elevate to the point, like, I don't think what we have now is possible without those 3 films. I really don't. The first Blade movie, those first 2 X-Men movies, which tied into then led to the first couple Spider-Man movies, which really set the whole ball rolling. And then once Marvel realized, maybe we should get our properties back because it seems like these are making some money.
Yeah. I mean, he did Days of Future Past too, as well, didn't he?
Either that or
it wasn't Vaughn again.
Either that or I know he did Apocalypse.
He did do that. I'm pretty sure he did. Days of, because I did like Days of Future Past a lot. But thank you so much, everyone, for.
That's right. It was. I forgot Blade was Del Toro.
Blade 2
was Del Toro. Yeah.
Who directed the first one?
Stephen Norrington
directed
the first Blade. But yeah, Blade 2 was more of a monster movie kind of thing, where the first Blade was just a straight up action. I'm gonna kill the crap out of me.
It was awesome.
And it was fun. And then Chris Christopherson just being a crotchety asshole the whole movie.
And Stephen Dorff. Deacon,
Stephen
I love Deacon
hamming
Frost.
The shit out of that role.
I love Deacon Frost, man. But Gino and I will be here Monday night or early Tuesday for a screening for a review of Dark Phoenix. So come check us out then. In the meantime, subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. Also follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob as well. And we'll be seeing you guys here soon. So take care.